He gon' fuck up a check cause I'm pretty. He gon' fuck up a check cause I'm pretty. He gon' fuck up a check cause I'm pretty. I'm the baddest little bitch in my city. Pretty, 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 pretty. I'm the baddest little bitch in my city.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, today will be a story time. It'll be my first one and I'm very excited to. In this video, I also will not be sharing the location of the hospital that I had both the kids in because, you know, privacy reasons. But anyway, let's hop right into it. So the day I was getting contractions with Celeste, I didn't actually know I was getting contractions. I forget what they're called, but it's like the fake contractions. I thought I was having those because they've been happening for like a few days. Like they would happen randomly. I thought I was having those. Like, okay, I was getting used to them. They weren't like nothing too crazy. It was kind of just like my stomach was just not hurting, but it was just kind of like my stomach felt weird. She was 41 weeks. So we were going to the hospital for, you know, like the checkup to see what was going on since she hasn't came out yet. And whenever we went there, let me just tell y'all, we usually go to this same hospital for like all the appointments. And this time we were supposed to go somewhere else, but we ended up going where we usually go. And at first I was thinking like, okay, are they not gonna like take us because we don't have an appointment here? We have an appointment at somewhere else, but we usually have our stuff here. But they ended up taking us anyway to do the ultrasound. And when they did, they basically said that there was no liquid left in my stomach. Like the atomic fluid was gone, which was weird because my water never broke. But like my mucus plug did come out, and it came out a few times. A little bit will come out, but nothing like too crazy. Like whenever I wipe myself or go to the bathroom, I would notice a little bit, but it wasn't nothing too concerning. Well, it concerned me at first because I ended up contacting my midwife and everything about it to make sure everything was okay. But anyways, like I was saying, they said there was no fluid, and they were kind of nervous about that, and they was very concerned. So they ended up taking us to one of the labor rooms. Mind you, I had no idea what's going on. It was like part of me did, but the other part of me was just like, I have no idea what's happening here. Just like looking around, not putting two and two together of like what's happening. Looking around like, oh yeah, nothing's going on. They just took us up to a random room. We're just gonna chill in here. No. They ended me up and all this other stuff to like my belly and everything. Just ended up walking in, and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? She was like, are you in any type of pain or anything? Like, are you all right? And I'm just looking at her like confused. So I'm just looking at her like she's crazy. Like, yeah, I'm okay. What are you talking about? Like, why are you like panicking? But it turns out I was having contractions, and they were frequent, but I couldn't feel them. Like, it wasn't nothing like to put me at a discomfort or any pain. So when she showed me the screen where it was monitoring like all the contractions, I was so confused. Because it's just like, I don't feel anything. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Whenever she was like wondering if I was okay. And mind you, I was 5 centimeters. Okay, I was 5 centimeters. And whenever I said I don't feel anything and like I'm okay, she looked at me like I was crazy. And it was just like, I'm still not putting two to two together of what's really happening. Like, it didn't really click in my mind what was going on. Okay, fast forward a little bit, a different nurse comes back in and, you know, checks up on me again, asks if I'm doing okay. Since there was no fluid left in there for her, they was just like, all right, you know, let's make this go a little faster. They gave me a Pitcon, I think that's what it is, to try and help the contractions move along, I guess, faster or boost the pace that it was going. And when I tell y'all, I was fine at first, and they kept coming in up in the dosage and everything of the Pitcon to try and move things even faster. Out of nowhere, it hit me like a truck. Like, out of nowhere, I just started feeling all this discomfort and everything, and I was just like, okay, this is what they were talking about. Like, I don't know if I like this. I was like, you know, I don't know how to really explain it, because it was so, everything started happening so fast. It was like once they got the contractions to actually start like coming like that back to back, even more than what they were. So I didn't feel them at first, and all of a sudden just started feeling all of that at once. It was so much. But it was like, for me, it was kind of like I was mentally prepared already, because I took natural birth courses. As soon as I found out I was pregnant with Celeste, I told myself I was doing this natural off rip. And I sent myself for this natural birth course. I did 76 for like 3 months, but this is the natural birth course that I took. It was so helpful. They gave you like all these videos to watch of natural birth, what to expect, all the tips, all the guides. Since it was COVID year, I was able to watch everything like literally off my phone, and I was able to get myself very determined to like do this naturally. And they also gave me these they gave me these affirmation books. Well, it's not books, but it's cards, and like it's stuff like really, really nice. That's the front of it. Okay. And I'm just gonna show you guys the front of that one. Oh, that was the front of that one. And then this was the card that I said. But yeah, like these were so helpful, and I thought I was gonna take them to the hospital with me, but I ended up forgetting these at home when I was in the room, because I didn't know I was about to give like birth this day, you know what I mean? I was not prepared at all. Like, we had the labor bag and stuff, but like we didn't actually have it with us because we thought we were just going to an appointment. You know what I mean? I'm not about to bring all that if we're just going to an appointment. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I get sidetracked it really easily. After what's it called? All this is a Pitquan. It was like wave after wave after wave, like constantly. Like, it was up there. Like, I have a high pain tolerance, so it was like, it was enough to make me cry, but not enough to have me like screaming or, you know, ready to give up. I just kept thinking in my head, like, this is all going to be worth it. This is just temporary. You know what I mean? Like, I try to keep that in my head. Kind of like how I do with tattoos. Like, it's just temporary. Not pain, but discomfort. I wouldn't say it was painful. Like, the contractions, I would just say it was highly discomfort. Like, I was not comfortable at all. But it wasn't hurting to the point where I was screaming my head off or saying I can't do this or anything like that. I just kept thinking in my head, you know, this is, you're going to be able to see her in a few hours. We're just going to get through this. We're going to keep going. And it was like, when you get a wave, you have to, like, you have to do that whenever you're getting a wave to keep you grounded and relaxed. Because as soon as you let a wave get to you, you're not going to be able to recover enough. If you're getting your contractions back to back, you're not going to have time to try and catch your breath if you're not staying on top of it. Because as soon as you stop and you let a wave drown you, it's cakes after that. Like, you're not going to be panicking, but you lost your rhythm. So it's like, it's going to be a little more difficult to get back onto that calmness track. Your mind is going to be racing. I also noticed what helped me was this is a little weird, but for me, I wasn't screaming. I was mostly making like animal noises, if that makes sense. Like a grizzly bear. I sounded like a grizzly bear, but I feel like it helped me because it was just like, instead of screaming, I was able to channel it into like, I don't know, it's so weird when I think about it and try to explain it, because literally like a grizzly bear was in the room. Like, it was coming out of my mouth, a grizzly bear noise. So, but I don't know, it helps me because you need all the energy you can get. And mind you, I wasn't expected to give birth this day, so I didn't get a lot of sleep. I probably got like 2 to 3 hours of sleep. So I was extremely tired. You know, I'm just trying to push through it. They basically induced me with the pick-on to try and move the labor as fast as they can and get her out, which I'm kind of glad they did, because I was scared of anything C-section. I'm very afraid of. Like, I don't want to get cut open. I don't want to do any of that. So whenever they gave me that to try and help the process go faster, to try and get it over with, I actually appreciated it. I wasn't expecting that, but it was appreciated. And I also did have a doula to help. At my doula, I have a midwife, and I had my boyfriend. So my midwife, she was like in and out, because she had other places, like other rooms and everything to visit and everything too. Same with my doula, but my doula was mostly with me and Dame. So like she would kind of grab the reins, and she was like taking full control. She was like helping me throughout the whole thing. She was giving me leg massages. She was like getting my belly comfortable, like with the pillows and everything. She was like putting rags on me. She was getting back rubs and everything else. She was showing Dame what to do to try and help and everything. She even let him go to sleep while me and her was up going through contractions. Like, I was literally bawling my eyes out going through these contractions, but still keeping my breath calm. And my doula helped so much. Like, if you don't have a doula and they're free for you, just do it. Because it was definitely one of the best things that we decided to do. Like, it was nice, especially for Dame. He was able to sleep instead of being up with me. He was able to go to sleep while she did all the work, pretty much. Well, both of us did all the work. But I just remember that I just wanted to go to sleep. Like, my energy was almost gone. I just wanted to go to sleep, but I had to keep going to the bathroom. It was like I kept feeling like I had to poop, but it was just like I ended up not even pooping outside. I was just like a little bit of pee, have to go right back to the bed, get hooked up to everything all over again. I just remember me ended up falling asleep somehow, and me waking up to my body being full in control. Like, my body was literally, my body woke me up, and it was just like, it's time to do this. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I literally just remember my body just very overwhelmed and taking full control, and me just opening my eyes, looking around like, all right, like it's time to do this. But the weirdest part is I woke up and there was so many like nurses in the room. They said they were really excited to see how I was doing. Basically, they were excited to watch me give birth, since they said they haven't seen a lot of people do it naturally at my age. So they was like very, very excited, which was just like, okay, that's understandable. But there was like 6 of them there like all around. I just look around, they're everywhere, and I'm just like, this is what I wake up to, my body doing all this and a whole bunch of people in the room. It was just a little overwhelming. But I'm looking around and I'm telling them I think she's coming, and they're like, are you sure? I'm just like, it's time to do this. Like, I know it's time to do this. And then out of nowhere, I was just kept saying like, I have to poop, and they put the little the bathroom little tray underneath me, because I'm just thinking like I'm about to like take like the biggest poop ever or something. Like, that's what it literally would have felt like. But I ended up not even going. It was just her getting ready to come out. When I felt like she was starting to come out, Dane was still asleep. Like, he had no idea what was about to happen. I'm over here yelling at the nurses like, wake him up, he needs to get up. Like, Dane, wake the fuck up. Her heart rate started going down, so they had to try and help her come out. Like, they literally had to like help her try to come out. And I feel like that it was making it a little more tougher. When I felt like she was about to come out as they're trying to help her, this is the part that actually hurt. The ring of fire is no joke. When the crown of their head is stretching, when I say that was the most painful part that I've experienced, that was no joke, like, at all. When people were talking about it, I was thinking like, oh, that looks like crazy, but actually experiencing that crap hurt. It hurts. But yeah, I kept wanting him to get up, and if he would have woke up a second later, he would have completely missed her coming out. because after when they were helping her and he got up and everything else and he came by my side and he was watching, you should have seen his face. Like he was like the whole time just like like he just woke up to that happening. But as he was like watching and he was like being there in the moment with me, after her head got through, she literally like flew out. Like I don't know how to explain that. Like she just came out really fast. Like damn sit that she practically flew out. I don't know, it's so weird to explain this because it's just like I told my birth story to people, but like not like to the camera, so it's a little weird. I feel like I'm doing this a little out of detail and like out of line, but it's okay. She ended up pooping on me whenever she came out. Like she literally had poop on my leg, but I was laying there like kind of in shock because it was just so much was happening all at once. It was a lot of emotions like everywhere. I had so many emotions everywhere. And it was the part when they told me how much she weighed. I really thought like, what did you just say? Like, huh? They said she weighed 8 pounds and 1 ounce. When they said that, I could not believe I pushed that out. Like, excuse me? And when they put her on my chest, it was just like all that was worth it. All that was so worth it. Like she's right here, like she's on my chest, like she's here. And it was so much emotions going on. Like I could literally just look at her and just like try and get my emotions under control because it was so much happening. Like I just felt so like complete because it was just like all like you've been growing in my stomach for 9 months and you're right here right on my chest looking right at you. And her hair was so full and it was just, she was so cute. No little baby. But yeah, she came out at 8:31 a.m. 19.5 inches and 8 pounds and 1 ounce. So she was a big long baby. She was like, I actually miss her being that little, like just so but of course after that though, after I held her, Thing was able to hold her, and when he was holding her, I had to birth the placenta, which is like freaking huge. Like it is so big. It looks like a big freaking brain, bruh. It was so big. And it was actually nice because my doula, she thought it would be a good idea for me to have a little drawing of the placenta, like the memory of it. So she took like a little piece of paper, she took the placenta and she literally like kind of pressed it on the paper, and so he was able to see the outlines of like everything. It literally looked like a big brain on I don't know how to explain it. It was a little weird. It was cool though, but it was just like, it was weird. But once that placenta was out, it was like my stomach felt more comfortable because it still felt like something was in like there. Obviously there was, but yeah, after that was out, it was even better. Like my stomach felt like empty. It felt so weird. But one of the best parts though was when they said that I can eat because I didn't have any medication or anything. I was so freaking happy. Like that is one of the best rewards besides having my daughter here, that having food right after. I needed that. I need all of that. All I'm gonna do is smile because it was just like I can feel all the emotion all over again, like it just happened. And just, yeah, I love that. But moving on to my other birth story with DJ. So he actually was early. He was 37 weeks. My pregnancy with him was so much different than how it was with Celeste. Like with her, I was sick, but it wasn't as bad as how it was with DJ. Like I lost so much weight. I didn't gain my weight back until the 3rd trimester. I couldn't keep anything down really. I couldn't really work either when I was pregnant with him. Like I didn't think it was going to be so different than how my first pregnancy was. Whenever I was getting further along in my 3rd trimester, it was just like I kept having to go to the hospital to get checked up and everything because I kept feeling like like he was just gonna come at any second. And it was honestly a little scary because I wasn't expecting any of this. After how my first pregnancy went and everything else, I was expecting something closer to that, a little easier, and it was just like way harder than my first pregnancy. It was kind of like I was dilated, but it was happening very slow. Like whenever I got checked, I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I forget how many effaced and all that. Honestly, it was kind of confusing. Yeah, I was like 1 centimeter for like 2 weeks, and I would go get checked again to see if I dilated more, and I was only, I believe, 2 to 3 centimeters the next time they checked. And then I'll have to wait again. It started like just feeling like I was getting contractions and everything, but whenever I would get seen, I wasn't in active labor. They said to come see them in like a day or two, something like that. After I got checked, then they said I believe that's when they said I was 3 centimeters. It's the third time they checked me in that month. And you know, I went home and everything. At this point, I was like annoyed because I was just like, you just need to come out at this point. Like, you're playing games, and I did not appreciate it. Like, you can't keep coming back to this hospital back and back, and you're not coming out. Like, what's going on here? Are you not, like, what's happening? I just remember waking up and having contractions like all morning, but it wasn't nothing too crazy because it was like I basically stayed home. And I remember me and my daughter Celeste, we was like curling up, we was just watching movies, and I had a feeling that he was gonna come, but it was just like, it's been happening almost this whole month and nothing, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, I'm still getting contractions. But when it got to a point where it was like they were coming more frequent and it was starting to get just a little too much, mind you, it was at like 2 in the morning when we went, okay? It was me, Dame, and his sister Lacey. We went to the hospital, and again they tried to me, and they said since I'm only 3 to 4 centimeters, I'm not technically in active labor. So they were going to try and send me home. They said they're going to check again in an hour, and if I'm still the same centimeters, then they're just going to send me home again. And it's just like, why would I want to go home? I came here because the contractions were just going crazy. Like, I'm not about to go home when I was home that whole time dealing with it. I got to a certain point, it's like, okay, I'd rather go home and deal with it. But it's like, if I'm coming here, it's because the contractions are getting too much. And it's just like, he's gonna be coming soon, I can feel it, you know what I mean? But yeah, after she said that, I was like, okay, but can I get like a yoga, like a exercise ball that the pregnancy balls they be having for you to like bounce on and everything? I did it until she came back, and when I tell y'all, it worked. Like, it worked. I should have been doing that whole month. That's what I should have been doing, honestly, to like dilate faster. Because when she came back in, and I was 5 centimeters dilated. Like, yeah, you're not you're not making me go home. We're staying here. We are staying here. But when she checked me, this part is funny. This part is funny because Dame tried telling Lacey, like, are you gonna want to come like stand by my shoulder or anything when they check me? And she was like, no, I'm good. She was sitting at that corner so she was able to see, and she was like, no, I'm okay with everything. All right. When she saw that they had to stick their fingers all the way up there to check the dilation, it basically like traumatized her. Like, she did not want to stay after that. After she seen that, they was like, did they really just do that? And we were like, yeah, that's how they check to see how dilated you are. But she ended up going home after that because it scarred her too much. She said whenever she got home, she kept looking at her hand and just like thinking of that. It was it's not funny, but it's funny because it's just like, but anyways, back to telling me I was 5 centimeters. They took us up to the delivery room, and I pretty much, like, after when they took me up there, it was so different than how it was with Celeste. Like, it was so much harder. Like, it felt like the contractions were way worse, so much worse than the first time around. Like, when I'm telling you, I was immediately bawling my eyes out. Like, this time was definitely more pain than discomfort. Like, because I remembered everything, like all the natural birth courses. I remembered all of that. I didn't like redo them, like I didn't retake them, but I remembered everything. So it's just like I was going off all the information I already had. But again, I ended up forgetting my cards and everything at home, my labor bag and everything though this time. And did have a doula and a midwife again, plus Dame. But my doula, she was very busy. It was a different doula than who I had last time, and I was sad about that, because it was like I wanted the same doula again, you know what I mean? Like I wanted her again. I wanted that whole experience again. But she wasn't able to help me, so I had to get somebody else. And for the second time around, she was busy with other people, you know what I mean, like helping other people. So it was mostly my midwife like coming and checking on me, but she was also busy as well. So it's just me and Dame for most of the time. And he ended up falling asleep on me, so I was just up by myself, like going through the contractions, bawling my eyes out. And there would be nurses here and there coming in the room to check on me, and you could tell I felt bad that I was like there by myself, because they tried to stand there for a little bit and then they ended up leaving the room too. But yeah, it was a lot. It was so much more overwhelming. Like it was a lot. And I was doing the grizzly bear noises again, but it was like I was more crying than making noises. Like I was mostly bawling my eyes out and trying to keep up with the waves and everything, because it was so much happening all at once. And those contractions were hitting me like a bus. Like it was, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I'm so overwhelmed right now, but I had no choice but to keep going. You know, I just kept thinking of the thought process, like this is all gonna be worth it. Like I'm about to get him out. And like honestly, it was just like to the point where it was just like I just want him out. Like I want him out. He needs to come out. Like that's how overwhelmed I was. I was bawling, just thinking like, come on out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can we please get this over with? And I was tired. I was so tired. But yeah, it was just too much happening. Like I was honestly, I didn't want to give up. I wanted to just like come on, like I don't know, something gotta give. Okay, like I was so over it. But yeah, me and my midwife ended up having a conversation, because I was so tired. Like I just wanted to go to sleep, but I couldn't because the contractions were too much. And we ended up doing laughing gas to like try and get me to go to sleep, but it was like it felt like it wasn't actually working, if that makes sense. Like I didn't feel like it was doing anything. After probably like 30 minutes, I ended up falling asleep. And then it was kind of like how it was with Les. But yeah, I woke up to my body like basically telling me like it's time to do this. I tried telling my doctors, like the nurses and everything that, and then when they checked the dilation, they said it wasn't like fully like dilated for him to come out yet. So they're like trying to help like stretch it, like help dilate me faster. It hurt, honestly. Like you're literally, you know what I mean? It wasn't working. So it was like, he's not ready yet. And I was over it at that point, because it was just like, bro, you need to hurry to come out. Like this is too much happening. It was painful. Like this go around, it was painful, and I just wanted it to be over with. Whenever I told them that I wanted to squat, then give birth squatting, they tried saying that I couldn't squat because I was given laughing gas. And my midwife basically said like, no, if she wants to squat, then she's going to squat. And I loved that, because it was like, yeah, like you ain't about to tell me I ain't about to do what? This is how I want to give birth. I'm gonna do how I want it, because I couldn't do it the first time around. Like for Celeste, I didn't want to lay on my back. I didn't want to give birth that way. I wanted to either lay on my side with my leg up, or squat, or anything other than laying down, because when you lay down to give birth, that little bone that's at the bottom of your back, I forget what it's called, but it's whenever a child is trying to come through, it's basically fighting with that part of the bone and everything else to come through, which is making it more painful, you know what I mean, compared to that bone being open and they're being able to come through way easier instead of fighting against that bone. But the bottom of the bed went down, and I was able to go on the other, like further apart, and I was able to squat right there. And my doula, she was still helping other people, so it was my midwife and dame and nurses who were there with me. And when I tell y'all, he came out so fast. Like, my midwife caught him. I pushed one time and he just came out, like he just dropped out. And it was just, I couldn't wait for him to be out. I was so happy. Like, yes, it's finally out. It's over with. Like, he's here. No more contractions, nothing. Like, it felt so nice to finally have him out. But he came out so fast that he did end up popping a few blood vessels in his eyes. It did heal, like, within a few weeks, the blood vessels was all healed up. After I laid down, and I think because I had to birth the placenta on my chest, little skin to skin. And it was so nice because it was just like, I just been through all that and you're laying on my chest now. Like, I was so happy. And it was just like, oh, like, look at my little son, you know, little tiny little baby. But he was big as like Celeste. He was 20.5 inches, and he was born at 8:38 a.m. and he was 7 pounds and 5 ounces. So his weight was a little smaller than Celeste's, but he was longer, and they were both came out a few minutes apart, which is like, kind of freaked me out a little bit. Yeah, after they gave him to me, and we had a little the skin to skin moment, gave him to Dame so he would have that moment too, and then I was able to birth the placenta. I didn't get a drawing from this time. I was able to eat again right after, since I didn't take any epidural or any of that, which I was so happy because I was so tired. It's just that when they push on your stomach, it is so uncomfortable. Like, ugh, it just, like, it doesn't hurt, but it's like, it's so uncomfortable. I did not like that part. Okay guys, time for the Q&A. So for the first question, did I tear? I tore with Celeste, but not with DJ. So with Celeste, I had a 1-degree tear, and doula, she said technically I didn't need to get stitches, but they gave me 1 stitch to try and help with the healing process. And when I tell y'all, every time I had to go to the bathroom and I had to pee, it burned so bad. Like, but they gave me one of those little bottle things, and if you fill those up with some warm water while you're peeing and you just like spray down there, it doesn't burn as bad. But yeah, when you get stitches down there and you go to the bathroom, it sucks, like, a lot. And then you can't get off the bed how you usually get off. Like me, I'd like to like slide off the bed because our bed is like this high. Couldn't slide off, so I had to like roll and like swing my legs over. Like, it was so weird. But my DJ, again, I didn't tear, so I was able to do everything normal. You know what I mean? I didn't have to do any like extra shit just to get off of the bed and everything. I was able to go to the bathroom immediately after. Like, I was able to walk perfectly fine. Like, I was cool. Like I didn't even just give birth. Did I get epidural with either kid? No, I did not. I'm not saying like you have to go natural. It's just something that I prefer to do, because I don't like the idea of getting epidural. I don't want my back hurting for years. Me personally, I just felt like if I'm having a kid, I want to experience everything that it has to offer, whether if it's painful or not. I want the full experience down to the T. I want to experience everything that comes with it. So I don't want no medication that's gonna have me not experiencing it how I want to experience. I loved how my body was able to communicate with me and help me through the birthing part. Like, that was very important to me, to be able to connect with my body. And I just felt like if I would have took epidural, I wouldn't be able to do any of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you're giving birth, your body knows what it's doing. Your body is pushing out a life. So it's like, I just wanted to experience all of that. I'm not saying whoever doesn't, but natural is, you know, no. It's just what I just prefer to do, and how I wanted to experience my birth and labor. Could have done it with her first, but she got nervous last minute. So it does happen. That happens a lot. I feel like it's very important to have that mindset, very determined to actually go through with it. You know what I mean? Because once you start doubting yourself and you start getting any type of doubt of natural birth, that's when it starts to get in your head and you start to overthink everything. So it's definitely more of a mind power thing over a body power. Like, your body's doing all the work, but if your mind is not determined to like do it, then it's going to be very difficult to see that plan set through, if that makes sense. But I have herbal stuff in the water. So for my natural births, I didn't do water births. For my next pregnancy, I do want to do that because it seems nice, since I already the regular bed births with both of my kids. And I have any music. I did not listen to any music. It was just like, I did want to, but again, with Celeste, I left all the stuff that I was going to bring to the hospital. I left it all at home. So it's like, I didn't really have that option. We could use it off the phone, but it was just like, I don't know. I didn't really feel like doing all that once it actually became to that time of everything that was happening. Was the pain level or the experience outweigh the pain? So with Celeste, the experience definitely outweighed the pain. Like, it was more of so in the moment, like grizzly bear noises, feeling very like powered, and like, you know what I mean, it was overwhelming, but I felt more powered than pain. Like, I was just, I don't know, it was nice. But with DJ, it was definitely the pain, it definitely outweighed it more than how it did with Celeste, because it was just like, it was so painful. Like, I don't know, like, it wasn't pain to where I was screaming, but I couldn't stop crying. And I'm already sensitive, but that had me bawling my eyes out and ready to give up and just wanted it over with the whole entire time. Like, it was a lot. Your page is giving mother, but I would never guess you are a mom. It's not really a question, but it's a nice compliment. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know, it's just, I'm not judging any like parent or mother, anything for posting their kids on social media. You know what I mean? I'm not judging or anything. It's just something that I personally don't want to do, because it's just, there's just too many there's just too many weirdos out there for me to feel comfortable actually posting them on all my social medias. And it's just, you know, I'd rather just keep them to myself. And you know what I mean, like for holidays or for the one post, some people be like, post your firstborn, or you know, like for holidays and stuff, how everybody's always posting their kids for holidays. And it's like, yeah, I take the pictures, but I don't actually post them. But that's just me personally. I just don't feel the need to, I don't know, that's just me. How long was labor and delivery? I think, if I remember this correctly, Celeste, I was in labor for 22 hours, and I pushed at least 5 to 7 times for her to come out. I think it may be 5. With DJ, I believe it was, I can't really remember, honestly. I feel bad that I can't remember, because it's just like, I feel like I should know this, like every detail by heart. I definitely wasn't in labor as long as I was with Celeste, so I'm thinking it might have been like 15 hours of labor. I wasn't in the labor room all day like I was with Celeste. Like with Celeste, I went there in the morning and I stayed the whole night, and then I woke up in the morning and had her. But DJ, I came to the hospital at like 2 in the morning, had him in the morning. So I think it was like 15 or less hours of labor with him, and I only pushed 1 time. How many weeks were they? When I had Celeste, she was 41 weeks. She stayed in a whole week later. DJ, he was 37 weeks, so he was early. We didn't have to go in the NIC room or anything like that. We didn't have to stay any days later. He was fine. It was just his blood vessels in his eyes that popped, and that was it. Celeste, she was able to come and meet him, and we didn't know how she was going to react, but surprisingly, she actually did really good. She couldn't stop hugging him. She kept giving him kisses. She kept trying to rub his head, kept rubbing the little swaddle. She reacted pretty good. I would definitely do that all over again. Yeah, I would. In a heartbeat. Like, it was just, yeah. Thank you guys for watching the story time. If you have any questions you want me to answer in the comments, just drop them and I'll do my best to answer them and make them make sense. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Pretty, 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 pretty. I'm the baddest little bitch in my city. He gon' fuck up a check cause I'm pretty. I'm the baddest little bitch in my city. He gon' fuck up a check cause I'm